Welcome, everybody. We are happy to have you all here today. I'm Dana Lancelotti, the Director of Business Development and Tourism with Ocean County. I'm here on behalf of the Ocean County Commissioners. Commissioner Joseph Vicari is actually the liaison to our department, and the commissioners are very happy that they're able to offer phase 2 of the small business lease assistance grants so that all of you have an opportunity to get some assistance in this very difficult time. Right now, this webinar is hosted by the New Jersey Redevelopment Authority. We have Janelle Baker and also Matt Boyle here, and they will be helping you to follow some of the application and walking you through the instructions so that you have an easy time with this and it's seamless for you. Thank you all so much for joining us. There will be a link to this webinar that will be provided for all of you after this. And of course, we're all here to help you following up if you need it. Thank you so much and good luck to all of you.
And Janelle, you are more than welcome to welcome everyone to the amazing webinar.
All righty, good morning to the beautiful people of Ocean County. Njra is so happy to do yet another collaboration with Ocean County to assist the small businesses during these unprecedented times with regards to providing the necessary aid with your relief, your rental relief. We are launching phase 2 of this program. It will begin on Monday, March 15th, promptly at 9 a.m. I highly encourage everybody to register that morning at 9 a.m. or sooner. It's a very competitive round. We are going to start a slideshow so that I can begin to give you guys all of the exciting information regarding this upcoming program. As you see, Njra is administering the Small Business Lease Emergency Assistance Grant Program on behalf of Ocean County for phase 2. The Njra Small Business Lease Emergency Assistance Grant Program with Ocean County will provide up to $30,000 in grants for commercial rent relief targeted for small businesses and nonprofits in Ocean County. Please be mindful, this program is in fact created as a first come, first served basis. The application does open March 15th. Our website, njra.us. On Monday, you will see a link that will bring you to the Ocean County Small Business Lease Emergency Assistance Grant Program. You're just going to click on that link. If you're on a little early, you may have to hit the refresh button a few times, but we highly encourage you guys to get in as early as you can. Let's discuss the eligibility of this program. This program will provide grants to small businesses and nonprofits. The small businesses would be businesses leasing commercial space in mixed-use buildings, small businesses leasing space in commercial buildings, and additionally, small businesses leasing space to operate a storefront business. The guidelines for this program really is aimed to help small to mid-sized businesses. So with that being said, the business must not lease more than 7,500 square feet of space. Typically, that information is listed in your lease, and if it's not, no worries. We will do additional due diligence to look online to see the size of the business. You must be located in Ocean County. That's true dedication there. This program was created specifically for Ocean County residents, so please take advantage on Monday morning. With regards to just some updates from our prior phase, the previous round required that you provide a tax clearance certificate or a business registration certificate. However, you don't have to worry about that this round. Njra will work directly with the Division of Taxation to gather that data on behalf of all of the applicants. So it's just one less thing you have to worry about. I will make this very clear. All businesses must be currently registered. Every small business has to register with the state of New Jersey on a yearly basis, just so that they know the business is still in existence. If the business is not registered at the time of our search, when we're doing our due diligence in reviewing your applications, we do apologize, but the decision to move forward will be reversed, and we are not deemed otherwise to go back and change that decision. Due to the competitive nature of this round, all applications, please double check and make sure all of the information is efficient. The leases must be current and fully executed. If there's a change in landlord or management company, please make sure that information is explained in the application. If there's anything that's inconsistent from the lease to the application without explanation, unfortunately, that will result in a declination. Now, I just want to kind of touch base on the eligibility and as far as the assistance that's being provided on behalf of Ocean County. If there's any applicant that received $30,000, which was the maximum award in phase 1, you are not eligible to apply for this round. This round is dedicated to help applicants that received no assistance or assistance less than $30,000. So if you've received prior assistance, the example would be maybe in round 1, you applied and you received $15,000. For round 2, you would apply and the maximum grant that you may request is $15,000. The 2 grants combined cannot exceed $30,000. So if you did previously apply, you received $30,000, we do apologize, but the application will automatically reject you. We are really trying to stay focused and making sure that we do help those businesses that did not receive maximum funding or no funding at all. Our application checklist, it's pretty simple. A current copy of your lease. If you have a lease that has renewal language, please double check and make sure that that language takes you into 2021. It's very important. Expired leases will in fact be declined. Please also double check when you're completing the application, your federal EIN number. With this round of applications, we will not be asking for social security numbers. It becomes a little problematic with the Division of Taxation and identifying somebody's social. And we've also noticed in certain instances, the husband may have put the wife's social or the wife may have put the husband's, and we're just trying to do everything possible to avoid that complication. So please make sure you have your EIN number handy and make sure when you are putting that information on the application, you do not transpose any numbers, because that will result in a bad finding from the Division of Taxation. And unfortunately, we will not be able to circle back and reverse the decision. Please also confirm not just your landlord's email, but that your email is accurate. This program is 100% electronic. So the best form of communication would be NJRA reaching out to you or you reaching out to NJRA. We do have other methods as far as contacting us that we will discuss a little later with our call center, but please be very mindful if the landlord's email is wrong and it is time for us to prepare the documentation or start to process the funding, the landlord will not receive any correspondence. Another piece of information I would like to add to the landlord certification for this round is that all certifications must be completed within 72 hours. There will be some recourse, unfortunately, if the application is not completed, the certification is not completed within 72 hours. We are doing all that we can just to ensure we are getting the money out on the streets to all of you small businesses to make sure you're supported. And the best way to monitor that is to make sure we continue to enforce the 72-hour time frame. It was a little relaxed for this last round, but I just want to make sure that you're aware that I have to stress the importance of please, please, please make sure that you have a good enough rapport with your landlord, or you stay abreast with what's going on to make sure that you do not lose out on the opportunity of receiving this assistance. This is on a first come, first served basis. As I mentioned, the application does open March 15th. Just to give you a little bit of additional exciting insight, if you received funding last year, as I mentioned, and just to be clear, I know it can get confusing, you can also receive funding this year. If you are current, which is different from last year, we will pay you forward. For example, if your rent is $10,000 and you have made your payment in March, we will pay you up April, May, and June, because that gives you the $30,000, assuming you did not apply in round one. If in round one you applied and you received 10,000 and you're coming back for phase two, you will receive 20,000. As mentioned, the two combined may not exceed $30,000. Just to add some quick updates for those that may not be aware, subleases are not accepted for this program. We would like a direct contract between the landlord and the tenant. At-home businesses are not eligible simply because we have to differentiate the landlord from the tenant, and also a home is not one of our eligible locations as far as the mixed-use, storefront, or shop and strip. Please also be mindful there are some businesses that are not eligible to apply. That information will be on the website. And just to give an example, liquor stores, bars, Christmas tree stores, things to that nature, stores that sell cigarettes are not eligible to apply for the program. Please do keep in mind the square footage is in fact 7,500 square feet. If you happen to be the tenant and the landlord, meaning you own your piece of real estate, that's fine. We welcome you. However, you must separate the business from the real estate. And that example would be my name being Janelle. If I have Janelle's Boutique, that would be the tenant. The landlord would be Janelle's real estate holding company. So please, please, please separate the two. There will also be instances where we're asking for 3 months canceled checks just to confirm the payment and incorporate our due diligence. As we're all aware, these funds, in fact, will be audited since we're utilizing federal dollars for this initiative. Our website is njra.us, Monday, March 15th, 9 a.m. Just as a reminder, if any of the information is inaccurate or inconsistent with the information you inject on your application will be declined. I can't stress that enough. For example, if I'm going to give an example, if you list the wrong street on the application and the lease has something different, that is considered inconsistent information. One of the updates to the application for this round, due to the nature of competition, is there will be a box at the end of the application that you must click prior to submitting the application to confirm that you are aware, that you attest that the information is current, accurate, consistent, and executed. And if any of the information is deemed to be such or untrue, the request will result in an automatic declination, and we will not, unfortunately, be able to reverse that decision. This program is literally 100% electronic. You will hear from NJRA. Please be sure, check your spam, check your junk, monitor your email. This is a time-sensitive program, so please make sure that you are staying abreast and staying in tune. Our website, as I said, is njra.us. And to learn more about phase 2 of this program, you can also visit us at our website. We do have a call center that operates 5 days a week between 8 a.m., 6 p.m. The number to our call center is 833-626-4600. Our program does roll out on the 15th. However, please be aware, we will not have any updates on your application for about 8 business days. So if you happen to call on the 19th, did you receive my application? You should receive a confirmation back in your email as soon as you submit your application. If there is any incorrect information that was submitted with the application, unfortunately, you are not permitted 3 days later to contact the call center and say, oops, I uploaded the wrong document. It's very important that we give you guys this information so that you're aware that everything must be accurate, efficient, and exactly deemed to be what we're viewing on the lease and the application. The call center obviously is there to help you if you have regular standard questions. I mean, absolutely, please give us a call. We're here for you. We're in this together. We just won't have any updates on your application for about a week and a half from March 15th. And we do apologize, and we understand everybody is excited and desperate and doing everything they can to get updates. We're doing the same for you, but we just need to have the time to process and compile all the data so that we're able to serve you in a professional and friendly manner. I believe that wraps up my portion of the program. We will do, I believe, a Q&A that Medina will introduce, and the architect of the program, Matt Boyle, is also a part of our presentation today, and we're very happy to have him.
Thank you so much, Janelle, for an amazing presentation and to going into detail on this program. Most importantly, I'm thanking you on behalf of Dana Lentilati and all of the county execs at Ocean County for the efforts of NJRA. There are a fair amount of questions in the chat that I'm going to facilitate. Most importantly, I want to bring Matt on. As you said, Matt, thank you so much for architecting this amazing program. And let us start with the first of several questions that I want to delve into. Nicole Leaf has asked, what's the current amount of funds available to be distributed for round phase 2? Matt, if you want to go into that. So I think she means from the individual and then maybe the total amount of funds available.
Well, the cap is at 30,000 for one business between the 2 phases. The amount of monies, we're still distributing monies from phase 1. So I don't have a hard amount right now because we have to collapse those monies into phase 2 in about a week, but we're trying to do our final fundings. But we hope it's sufficient for Ocean County. It's you know, it should be sufficient, hopefully. So.
Thank you so much, Matt. And just a segment off that question, Sarah, who is present here. Hello, Sarah. Is the grant available to those who receive funding in the first round? And I know you just mentioned the disclaimer about 30,000 between both rounds. Could you just, you know, a repetition is remembering. So if you could just repeat what that means between phase 1 and phase 2, please.
Sure. Go ahead, Jill.
Okay. So for phase 1, the example is if you applied and you received $20,000, for phase 2, you would not receive more than 10,000. The combined grant for both rounds cannot exceed 30,000. If you've received 15,000 in round 1, for round 2, you would receive another 15,000. So the combined, as I said, cannot total $30,000. And if you did receive assistance in 2020, you are eligible to receive assistance in 2021. And of note, I just wanted to add something very important here. If anybody on this panel or in Ocean County that applied for the NJRA program, please, please, please make sure that you apply for Ocean County. We did send emails back out to those applicants simply because we want to give you the opportunity to receive the maximum grant. You're able to receive 30,000 from Ocean County, whereas NJRA grants were the maximum is 10K. So we did that with hopes of being able to give you guys the opportunity to receive maximum assistance.
Wonderful, wonderful answer to that. So the other question I also have here is, hold on, I have an 11,500 square foot place leased. I didn't apply for round one. Am I eligible? And can we just once again repeat the square foot limit that's a part of the Ocean County? Only because I know it's been different for other rounds, and I just want to make sure that our business owners here are aware of it.
Yeah, it is 7,500 square feet is the maximum square footage. So unfortunately, in that case, if this particular facility is 11,000 square feet, they would not be eligible.
So that's the answer there for that particular question. And so, so sorry. There's another question from Wendy talking about, we have a mortgage as a nonprofit. Can you guys please confirm that we're not eligible to this grant? And I'll repeat that question. So Wendy has said, we have a mortgage as a nonprofit. Please confirm that we are not eligible for this grant.
I'm not exactly sure that I understand the question, but I can tell you nonprofits are eligible to apply. And if the nonprofit also owns the real estate, they would have to be bifurcated. It would have to be the nonprofit as the business, and the real estate would have to assume a different name to differentiate the two. So I hope I answered your question, but that's essentially the answer. Nonprofits are welcome as long as the square footage is 7,500 square feet or less, and it's an eligible business, and the Division of Taxation knows who you are with regards to your EIN number.
And I think that's really a huge differentiator, Janelle. So much, thank you so much for that part. I think there's a question out right now talking about just an explanation on, and I know we've gone into detail about this, why subleases are not accepted this round.
Well, subleases really weren't accepted, most times in previous rounds. And that's just due to, chain of ownership and following the contracts. It makes it much more difficult. So from a reviewer standpoint, and justifying the rent, so that is why we have chosen not to include subleases.
Wonderful. So Michael, who's also a part of our attendees here, has asked, how far forward will the grant pay? They're currently on a rent of about $1,000 per month. How many months can they apply for going forward? He's assuming that there's some sort of cutoff date.
And he's correct. The cutoff date is December 31st of this year. So if your payment is $1,000, and let's just say you last paid in December, we will pay you $12,000, just to make simple math for this example. We will pay you $12,000, meaning we will cover you from January to December, but those funds cannot go into 2022.
Wonderful. And then and this is always the question, Janelle, that follows this one up. It's from SR. So sorry, SR, I don't have your full name. So that's what you put in for this event. And this is all small business, what can the landlords expect once the application is expected? Because I think there's always like a little bit of a gap for small business owners when the handoff happens and it's accepted.
So what's going to happen is the tenant is going to submit the application. And I just want to reiterate, the landlords are not eligible to apply. The applicant must be the small business. So the tenant is going to complete the application, attach the lease, upload it to the system. Individuals will be contacted on a will be approved, shall I say, on a first come, first served basis. Everything is 100% electronic. So step one of this process, after the application is updated, you'll receive confirmation your application has been received. Step two of this process would be, hey, you've been approved, congratulations, or unfortunately, we regret to inform you your request has been declined for whatever follow reason. Step 3, once the approval is sent to you, this is a little different from round 1. Your landlord will receive the landlord certification. Essentially, when you have completed your application, you've already completed the tenant agreement. So the landlord will complete the certification. Once the landlord completes the certification, which I will stress again, must be completed within 72 hours, that document comes directly back to NJRA with the banking information so we can prepare the fund and send a wire. Once the wire is sent and received from the landlord, the small business will receive an email of the amount with the award and confirmation that the landlord has been funded. So that's essentially the process from soup to nuts.
Thank you so much, Janelle, for that clarity. We have a longer form question with a little bit of a testimonial here from a small business owner, Chance Brown, who I want to take, particular consideration of. Can you please tell me if demographic body of art studios will be included? And this is just a little bit of a backstory for Chance. They opened their business and have been in business in Ocean County for over 6 years, and they're in great need of help due to the pandemic. It's their livelihood, and they provided a service for the community. They have great reviews, and they're a women-owned business. It's been years of perseverance to be at the point that they are now, and they truly want their business to be considered because it's all they have. Can you please tell me again the demographic or the qualifications for art studios, if they're included in this round for Ocean County, please?
If they're leasing a retail mixed-use property, then they would be eligible to receive the grant. So that's really the big question there is if they're leasing a commercial or a mixed-use retail property, then they would be eligible.
Perfect. Well, Chance, I hope that answers your question. And if not, please reach out and call the NJRA's open number. They are more than accepting and quick to pick up and to respond and provide qualifications, as are Matt and Janelle. This program was built by them for you. So I hope that you feel heard. I think another question we have here from Bosky is, how will motel owners collect the outstanding payments from tenants who have no lease?
I'm going to try my best with that answer because I'm not sure that I understand it. You absolutely need a lease to apply for the program. The lease is our due diligence to confirm the legitimacy of the business, the location, and the direct contract between the applicant and the landlord. And unfortunately, motels would not be eligible as they are not considered an eligible business with respect to mixed use, storefront, or shopping strip.
Understood. We have, and I think I can field this question, which makes me feel like I've learned enough. We have just a question about Amy Hebelon has asked, if I have an 1,800 square foot cafe, am I eligible? Matt, the clearance on square footage, if I'm correct, is 17.5, correct?
It's 7,500 square feet. So yes, she's eligible.
Perfect. You're way under, Amy. You completely qualify. So please apply. 9 a.m. March 15th, right, guys?
That's correct.
We have another question just here about body art and tattoo studios and if they qualify.
They do not, Jen.
That is the way that it's, and that goes past the county. That is also a state for much of the supportive structures that have been created, just in case we need full spectrum explanation on that one. And if there is any conversation around that, I do always advocate for small business owners to go to their local county municipal representation to discuss supportive structures during COVID, because your question is not the only question that I have been in many rooms. And I always say, in order for change to be issued for support, we need to have our voices heard. So please reach out to your Ocean County representatives and discuss with them your concerns as a small business owner. Well, I just want to be there with everyone that this wraps up the Q&As that we've received thus far. I hope that everyone feels heard. And again, if not, in the chat, I have placed the website that you can find the application at, the phone number that you can reach out to about NJRA. Please take this seriously. Be prepared on March 15th. I'd love to give Janelle and Matt the final word in closing out our webinar today. And this will all, again, as Dana said, be sent to you all.
Absolutely, absolutely. I will let Matt close us out. I just want to thank everybody for coming. I'm still seeing some comments here, and I just want to make sure we do address everything. There was a comment that mentioned the landlord being elderly. We do apologize, but please have a conversation with your landlord this weekend, hopefully, and ask your landlord if there's somebody that can assist he or she with the process, because this is a first come, first serve program and everything is 100% electronic. We absolutely have to have all of the documentation emailed directly back to the system. And essentially, it's not an individual emailing you as the applicant or your landlord, it's the system. So you're communicating back and forth with our system. So please, please, please make sure. As far as us contacting NJRA, contacting all of the applicants, if the landlord does or does not sign the certification, we just don't have the capacity to do that. So with that being said, I highly encourage you to, if you have not, or if your landlord does not know, inform your landlord that you have applied to our program. And if you particularly see an approval email, that would be the clock that needs to tick for you to let the landlord know, hey, I was approved. You're going to be receiving a certification. If you don't send that back in 72 hours, that can place a hindrance on the request of receiving assistance for the grant funds. So just make sure that there's communication between you and your landlord. It's to both of your best interests. I am going to thank everybody for their time. I'm going to have my colleague Matt Boyle close us out. We hope to see you on Monday. We hope you get in there as early as you can. Please hit the refresh button if you feel like you may have gotten in at 8:55 and at 9 it's kind of just a little slow, only because the system knows you're in the system knows you're in the system, and there's probably going to be a lot of other people in the system. So please make sure you hit the refresh button. NJRA's program rolled out on February 22nd. We had almost 4,500 applicants and the system did not shut down. So, you know, stay focused, make sure everything is updated. Go through your lease one more time this weekend just to make sure that the two align, and that if there's anything that you need to explain, there's a box on the application. Please put any explanation in the box, only because we don't understand or know everybody's story. And if the two documents don't align, that can result in what we deem to be inconsistent information. So good luck to you all, and we look forward to working with you.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day. Stay safe. Matt, would you like to close us out?
No, thank you very much. Just wanted to say, when you submit your leases, just make sure they're executed. And if it's expired, make sure you have an option, the renewal option, submit it as well. Thank you. Look forward to, go ahead, Janelle.
I wanted to add, if you do not have a current lease, and we know time is of the essence, we will accept a landlord letter as long as the name of the business, the square footage, the lease amount, the date, and it must be signed. So please, 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 if you send an email, the email has to be executed. We have to receive the signature of your landlord on that letter. And if you're a small business that's inside of a bigger building, please, and you do get in, please be prepared. And I would give you this heads up to do it now, and you can potentially even submit it with your application to provide pictures so that we can see if you are a psychologist inside of a corporate building. We welcome you as a small business, but we need to know the existence of your business within this bigger facility. And if you can't submit the pictures with your application, there's no problem with that. We will call you and we will request documentation. And just be mindful, there is a 24 to 48 hour turnaround time at the time documents are requested. So just please make sure that you are paying attention to your emails and your phone, because we will do one or both to reach out and make that contact. But landlord letters are in fact welcome. Just please make sure they're executed and it spells out essentially the information that's captured in the lease, the amount, what the square footage, the location, how long the business has been there, and then just please make sure the document is signed.
So just because this question has come up, and I know we're wrapping up, this question about multiple locations in Ocean County, and it's been, you know, asked by 3 different business owners. So I don't want to wrap up without at least having this question answered when it's popped up 3 times. If a business has multiple locations that they rent for their businesses, what would be the way they can go about applying?
Okay, so what would happen is the square footage is still capped at 7,500 square feet. If the same EIN number follows all 3 businesses, that's one business, because the franchise or the businesses are not separated. So those 3 cannot exceed 7,500 square feet. If there's a separate EIN number for 3 different businesses within Ocean County, and the applicant gets in and has all applications submitted, you would be eligible. We just can't provide finance, I'm not even saying financing, we can't provide a grant to an applicant that assumes the same EIN amongst 3 businesses in 3 different locations. And if that does in fact happen to be the case, the landlord of each 3 businesses would have to split whatever that maximum award is. So just be very mindful of that. The separation of the EIN numbers is what differentiates each business as a standalone business.
Perfect. And thank you so much. And as we close out, thank you everyone for attending. Again, be ready at the website. Reach out if you have additional questions to the phone number. Reach out to your Ocean County representation. And I hope you and give you all the best of luck as you apply for this grant program. And thank you, Janelle, and thank you, Matt. And on behalf of Ocean County, thank you all for attending.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Good luck.